Okay, so the equation of the function is given. What are the x-coordinates or coordinates of the zeros of the function? Well, we have a couple different ways we can do that. Here's the first way. Let's make life easy. Grab your graphing calculator, do second plus 712, go up to y equals, and let's plug it in. So I have x to the third, in parentheses, subtract 8, and let's graph it. How many x-intercepts do I have? I have 1. Let's find out the exact coordinates by going second trace 0. And I'm going to go up, and left bound means slightly below. Right bound means slightly above. And coming back to, I am not finding hint here. Where am I? There I am. I gotta do this again. I lost that little arrow. Okay, there's my left bound, there's my right bound, and back to it. So I can see the exact coordinate is 2, 0. Alright? Next up, the equation of the function is given. What are the x-coordinates of the zeros of the function? Well, let's do the exact same thing. Erase and go 25x squared, subtract 16. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this one. One that may be a little easier for some of you. And while you look here, I'm going to write this out really quickly. Okay, so ready? All eyes up here. Even if you're not done, that's okay. This is the difference of cubes. So x, 2, 2, 2. Can everybody see how I just factored this? This will always give you a complex solution. That means the answer will always be in terms of an I. Every single time this trinomial will give you a complex. This, when you set it equal to 0 and solve, will give you the answer. See how it's 2? It's another way. You can graph it, or you could do this. Your choice. Over here, I chose to factor it, and now I take each one of these. I set it equal to 0, and I solve. Take each one, set it equal to solve. I get one answer to be add 4 and divide by 5. 4/5. Another one. Subtract 4 and divide by 5. Now let's do it the other way. The other way is using a graphing calculator. That may be your choice. So second trace, find the 0. I'm moving up here, looking for the cursor. Okay, so there's left bound, right bound, and back. There's one answer, 0.8. Now, whether you write it as a decimal, as long as it's not rounded, or a fraction is up to you. Let's find the opposite one. Second trace 0. Okay, so my left bound this time is above. Right bound is below, and back to center. There's a negative 0.8. Those are the exact same answers that I achieved, only within terms of decimals. Go down below. The equation of a function is given. What is the x-coordinate of the 0? I think most people prefer using a calculator, but let's show both ways. So let's go x to the 4th, in parentheses, and graph it. Oh, it really looks close, like it's at -3 and +3, doesn't it? Here's a shortcut without having to do that. Do second trace value. Let's type in 3 and see if it's 3, 0. Hey, it is. Second trace value, type in -3. Hey, there's your answer. Easy enough. So one answer is 3, 0. The other answer is -3, 0. But this says, what is the x-coordinate? Which means you only have to give one answer. So you could give 3, and your partner, or elbow partner, could say -3, and you're both going to get it correct. It only asks you to state one of them. I would, the negative sign, I did not provide one that has a negative, but there should be a negative sign available. Thanks, Mike. Okay, again, you could also factor and solve this to get the same answers. You could factor and solve it to get the same answers, and that would look like this. This breaks into x squared and x squared. This breaks into negative 9 and negative 9. Set it equal to 0. One's they're both negative. So this is x plus 3, x minus 3, x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay, that answer is x is negative 3, x is positive 3, x is negative 3, x is positive 3, right? And we can see, does everybody see how it bounces back? Bounces back? That's because we have two of our answers here. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Again, you could factor and solve, or we could use a graphing calculator. Come up here, and we have 10x squared, subtract 7x, subtract 12. We graph it. Ooh, those are not looking like pretty answers. Let's see together. Second, trace 0. So here's my left bound, right bound, and back to it. Okay, one answer is nice, 1.5 and 0. Now it only gives you room in this particular one to give one answer. So is it necessary for me to find the other answer? Not necessary. But what if it gave you a box and it asked you for both answers? Then should I find the other one? Absolutely. Let's just find the other one just for practice. Second, trace 0. Okay, the other answer is negative 0.8. Negative 0.80. Okay, go down to the very bottom. How could you determine which expression is equivalent to this? What could you do? Yeah, and what do you mean by solving them? Simplifying is great terminology. So you'd go through it and you would distribute all of this and distribute the next one and distribute the next one, and then you'd simplify, and only one of these would simplify into j to the third minus k to the third. Did anybody have the answer? And then I can tell you what it is. A? Let's check. I have j to the third minus j squared k plus jk squared minus k cubed plus j squared k minus jk squared. Okay, there's a j squared k, there's a j squared k, one's positive, one's negative. There's a jk squared, there's a jk squared, one's positive, one's negative, and you're left with j cubed minus k cubed. Thank you.